All right, peace be upon you, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Now, in today's video, I just want to speak about or sort of wax intellectual and reflect upon just how down bad and far gone our depraved culture really is. And really, I was thinking, this is actually, by the way, before I get into it, I know I bring up this point a lot, but it really cannot be overemphasized just how bad things are. And I'm not coming at it from a victimhood angle. I'm just trying to do my best to dispel this myth that we're in some golden age or we're so sophisticated in our knowledge, our society now. No, we are in a dark age. We have lost almost all spiritual knowledge, knowledge of the ancients. This has gone away, and we are in a pit of ignorance, undoubtedly. And specifically on this point, one thing that I've noted, and this is not just me, other people have noted this as well. Writers like Uzbinski, Sam Gerrans has called this out. The obsession of our culture with entertainment, theater, drama, sporting events, these what was this ridiculous fight that happened recently? Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. You can see the crowd, how people are going nuts. They're tuning in, paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to, but by the thousands of people to be here and watch these two men have this fake fight where they bash each other's brains out. This obsession with entertainment, and even recently there was this. Right, I don't know if it happened or if it's going to happen. There's this Taylor Swift concert that is scheduled in Toronto, and pretty much the whole of Toronto shut down to accommodate this woman coming in, and people are going crazy over these concerts and just again this obsession with entertainment, theater, drama, shows, sporting. This is the sign, a telltale sign of a savage culture and a barbaric people. Why do I say that? Why do I say the obsession of entertainment or the obsession with entertainment is a sign of a barbaric and savage people, of crude tastes? The reason I say that is because if you think of the man who is more spiritually minded, and I'm not insulting you if you watch this fight or you checked in on the results. I'm talking about a very specific kind of person, the person who lives for these things. Although I do recommend don't watch these things. They are a distraction and tool from the Satan. They're a waste of time. Why would you spend your time and money watching these people who don't care about you and are having a fake fight anyways that's rigged from the beginning? But even putting that aside, I'm talking about the people who live for this kind of entertainment. Uh, if you think of the man of spiritual and refined tastes, one who is solely fixated on the abode, the hereafter is on his mind, the divine is on his mind, God, scripture, things of the spirit, higher order purpose, destiny, dignity, honor, so many concepts which are lost in our age. But the person who is considerate of those things, naturally, he will find himself at peace, just in silence and solitude. He doesn't need the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. He doesn't need the big Taylor Swift concert. He doesn't need to watch Game of Thrones or check out the new Marvel movie that's released in theaters. He doesn't need to do any of that. He's happy just going on a walk with no music, no phone, just remembering God, praying in silence, in solitude, reflecting upon the heavens and the earth, reflecting upon himself. That is what the spiritually minded man is into. He actually has an innate aversion to all of the noise and humbug of his culture, which is calling him to have fun here, there, go out drinking, watch this thing, watch that thing, check out this thing, check out that thing. He doesn't want it. He wants to clear his mind, and he's happy with the simplest things that allow him to reflect on higher order concepts in life. And I'm not talking about mental masturbation. I'm talking about truly considering himself, his Lord, his purpose, his destiny, why he's here. Now, the man who is not reflective and contemplative like that, he needs all this constant stimulation. He needs the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. He needs the Taylor Swift concert because this is his fulfillment in life. This is his enjoyment. He doesn't consider God and the hereafter. Those things are boring. And Naturally, a man who needs constant overstimulation like this is a man who is not conscientious and thoughtful of his actions and his purpose. This is a man of a lower order thinking. And the fact that our society is so obsessed with these kinds of foolish spectacles, it shows that most people are at a way bottom down, bottom barrel, lower level of thinking where they need constant stimulation and they can't just sit there in silence and think about higher order concepts. And really, the downfall of the West, and really the whole world is the West now, to quote Sam Gerrans, everybody's following after the same philosophy. The downfall of all the cultures around the world, this has been on my mind for so long. I think about it so often every single day. Just how depraved we have become. Not only do people repudiate God and scripture and higher order meaning and understanding and principles, not only do they repudiate those concepts, but they don't even understand it. I see the majority of people in society today, when I'm out witnessing, talking to people about God, dignity, purpose. Hey man, this life is more than just chasing after a woman's bottom and drinking and having fun with your friends. There's more purpose to this life. There's a higher order nature that God has created you for. It's like I'm speaking a different language to these people, man. The vast majority, over 95% of society, it's as if they're English speakers and I'm coming to them with Mandarin Chinese. It goes completely over their head. And this goes back to what the Quran says when God says that it's as if you're shouting at them from a far place. God places a cover between you and them, an invisible barrier they don't understand. Deaf, dumb, and blind, they will not return. That's the level we've reached, and it's just shown by our entertainment, our music, and everything that this is a society that has no future. There's no hope for this. There's no hope. We can only hope that God allows something new to start up after the destruction, but we are all on the Titanic, and I'm not trying to sound negative or bad here because we can all rejoice that God will deliver his sincere servants from any of these horrible destructions that happen. But we are on the Titanic, we are on a sinking ship, and we can see the signs of the times. To think that we are progressing into some golden age of understanding is so preposterous and delusional that it baffles me that people still hold the sentiment within them that we're more sophisticated than our ancient forebears. This is not what the ancients thought. This is not what the scriptures teach. Any of the ancient sacred texts, none of them taught this. None of the people, at least in the past, believed this. Or I should say the priests, preachers, Brahmins, imams of the past, they didn't believe this, that we're in a golden age. They knew we're in a dark age, and humanity is getting progressively worse and worse as time goes on. You even have in the Hindu tradition, they talk about the Kali Yuga, the four ages of mankind. Let me pull them up right now. Four ages, Hinduism. And this is pan international. The spiritual men from every tradition who remembered their Lord, gave the honor due, tried to live a pious and righteous life, whether they're from a Muslim background, Hindu, Sikh, Christian, the monks, doesn't matter. The, the spiritually minded men from every tradition understood this, that mankind gets worse over time. So you have in the beginning, in the Hindu tradition, that when mankind was first made, you have the Satya Yuga, which is basically a golden age of truth where virtue abounded, where people understood higher principles, they lived according to the law, they lived righteously. Then things slowly degenerated from there to the Treta Yuga, the Dvapara Yuga, then finally what we're in, which is the Kali Yuga. So each successive age represents the loss of virtue and the slow victory and gaining of momentum of evil. So in Satya Yuga, it was basically perfect virtue. Then you get to the Treta Yuga, which is virtue is starting to lose a little bit to evil, but still virtue is in the lead. Then the Dvapara Yuga, where virtue and evil are kind of neck and neck. And then finally, what the Hindus say we're in now, which is the Kali Yuga or the Kaljug, which is an age where evil abounds and virtue is pretty much non existent. We have a similar concept in the Quran. God says that regarding the highest category, the forerunners, the front runners, the muqarrabeen, those who are brought close to God. It's a multitude of the former people and a few of the latter. A few of the later on generations will achieve the highest standard in the eyes of God. We even have this concept in Christianity in the Quran of the fall of man, how mankind was in a higher state at one point with full fellowship with the Lord, and then through his own sin, mainly what Adam did with his companion in the garden, he fell from grace, and humanity experienced in some way a separation from the Creator. People in the past, they knew this, they understood that we are going downhill. We even have in the Christian tradition of just sin entering the world and sin destroying us. This is all around. People got this concept. Even if you study the history of ancient cultures, if you keep pushing things back, doesn't matter if you go to India, Rome, there's this understanding that in the past, the divine was in some way closer to us than it is now. So, like, for example, if you study, let's say, Japanese history, you keep going back in history. This emperor was a son of this person, it was a son of that emperor, the son of that emperor, the son of that emperor. And every ancient culture has this belief that their society and way of life was founded by the god or the gods. And obviously, I don't believe in shirk, I don't believe in polytheism, I'm not promoting that. I'm just looking at the concept, what it stands for. So you have Japan. Who was Japan founded by? Emperor Jimmu. Jimmu. I think I spelt that wrong, but so this guy is the first legendary emperor of Japan, allegedly the founder of Japan. His ascension, so and so, and he was, according to tradition, a descendant of the sun god Amaterasu. So we understand that the people of the past were greater. Once you keep pushing history back and back, and eventually it starts getting wound up and tied into mythology. Oh, this person was the demigod or the son of this god or that goddess or whatever. This goes all around the world. We know that the men of the past were greater than the men of the future. That's why, and again, I'm not promoting idolatry, but that's why ancestor worship, is such a big thing in pagan religions. We don't worship people of the future. They worship people of the past because we understood that they were more influential. Let's go to India. Some of the major characters in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjun, or Arjuna, he was the son of Kunti, the woman who allegedly gave birth to the child of Indra, the god of the sky and heavens. You go to, where is it? Let's see if it says, uh, who was Arjuna born of? Right, it was not Pandu. Pandu was not the one who gave birth to Arjuna because he was under a curse. I think he couldn't have lay with a woman. It was under Indra, actually. Indra was the one that was with Kunti and gave birth to this legendary man. You go into Rome, Romulus and Remus. Who were they the son of? Romulus and Remus are twin brothers and demigods, son of... And Romulus and Remus were the son of Mars, the god of war, and Rhea Silvia, the daughter of King Numitor. So, again, if you keep rewinding the clock, and I'm not saying these narratives are true, but what we get is a concept or a belief that the people of the past were greater than us, and in some way, the divine, knowledge of the divine, understanding of the divine, remembrance of God, the higher realm was closer to us than what we have now. And just believing that we are in an age of perfection or that we've gone higher than the people of the past, this is just our ancients. Even just go back to your great grandfather, your great great grandfather, your great 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 grandfather. You keep going back, none of these people believed in this. And I know this is kind of a rant, perhaps there isn't really much focus to it. I'm just really lamenting, but I shouldn't really lament of what's going on because it's all within the plan of God. There's a greater purpose to the evil that we're seeing, and God is leading mankind to the final culmination and judgment. But even still, I know that this may not have much focus, but I just want to bring to attention how far gone and lost we are, because the obsession with entertainment and not only the trivialness of our worldview, we're just this lump, a microbe on a globe in the middle of nowhere, spinning in this vacuum of space. But it's this nihilism combined with this pride to where who are we? Let's look at these people. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson crowd. Look at these people cheering on these sellout men and uh, staring at the women, the ring girls who are carrying the signs, just dressed immodestly. Who are we, so entrenched in our own sin and baseless, vain desires and entertainment and fleshly, carnal inclinations, with no higher order spiritual appetite? Who in the world are we to think that we are in a golden age or at any kind of apogee whatsoever? It's the combination of the degeneracy and the arrogance of it, us masturbated out, I don't want to use the word, but jabbed up, chemical filled, with our bellies hanging. I'm not talking about you and me, but this just the society in general. Our bellies hanging over our belts, and our women and daughters dressed in the most scandalous and behaving in the most scandalous manner. Who in the world are we to think we are at the pinnacle of anything? No, we are in the gutter. But, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all I got to say on the matter. I hope this talk was a blessing. And yeah, peace to you. Remember, deceit abounds, so keep your eyes wide open. Peace out.